Let me ask you something. Honestly, how many times have you stopped yourself from speaking English because you weren't sure if the sentence was correct? How many ideas stayed in your head because you were afraid of making a mistake? Here's the truth most learners never hear. Perfect grammar is not what makes people fluent. In fact, the obsession with perfect grammar is one of the biggest reasons people never learn to speak. And today, we're going to talk about that, calmly, clearly, and honestly. Welcome back to LingoMania. This is not a classroom. This is not an exam. This is a space for progress, for patience, for real English. You don't need to rush. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to be perfect. Today's episode is about freedom. Freedom from grammar fear, freedom from overthinking, freedom to finally use the English you already have. Part 1. Where this grammar fear comes from. Let's start here. Most English learners were trained the same way. Rules first, mistakes punished, silence encouraged. At school, mistakes meant bad grades, embarrassment, judgment. So your brain learned something very dangerous. If I speak and I'm wrong, I'm failing. That fear doesn't disappear when school ends. It follows you into adulthood. That's why many people understand English, read English, listen to English, but freeze when it's time to speak. Not because they're bad, but because they were trained to be afraid. Part 2. Grammar is not the foundation of language. Communication is. Here's something important. Grammar is not the foundation of language. Communication is. Language exists to transfer meaning, ideas, emotions, intentions. If grammar was the foundation, no one would understand beginners. But we do. When someone says, "Me want coffee now," we understand. Is it correct? No. Is it effective? Yes. Language worked. And every time language works, learning happens. Part 3. Why waiting for perfect is a trap. Many learners tell themselves, "I'll speak when I'm ready." But here's the problem. You don't become ready before speaking. You become ready by speaking. Waiting for perfect grammar is like waiting to be fit before going to the gym, or waiting to swim before entering the water. It doesn't work. Speaking is not the final step. Speaking is the training. Part 4. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. Let's clear something up. Native speakers do not speak textbook English. They say gonna, wanna, ain't, kinda, me and him. They interrupt themselves. They change sentences halfway. They break rules constantly. Yet communication still works. Why? Because fluency is flow, not correctness. Part 5. What really happens when you speak bad English. This is crucial. Listen carefully. When you speak English badly but consistently, your brain adapts. Patterns repeat. Structures settle naturally. You start noticing what sounds right, what sounds strange, what people repeat. That's how grammar improves without studying harder. Grammar learned through speaking stays longer, feels natural, doesn't need translation. Grammar learned only from rules stays in your head, disappears under pressure, blocks confidence. Part 6. The silent damage of overthinking. Overthinking is quiet but powerful. You think tense, article, preposition, and while you think, the moment dies. Conversation is about rhythm, not perfection. People don't remember your grammar. They remember your energy, your clarity, your intention. Overthinking doesn't protect you, it isolates you. Part 7. A better rule to follow. Forget this rule. Speak only when it's correct. Replace it with this one. Speak when it's understandable. That's it. That single rule unlocks confidence, practice, and momentum. Mistakes become adjustments, not failures. Part 8. How to practice speaking without grammar pressure. Here's a simple way. When you speak, use short sentences, simple words, and clear ideas. Not complex, not fancy. Simple English spoken often beats advanced English spoken rarely. Say, I work here. I like it. It's good for me. Not, I am currently employed in a position which... Clarity greater than complexity. Part 9. Your accent and grammar are not enemies. Many learners mix two fears, grammar fear and accent fear. Both come from the same place, judgment. But accents are normal. Mistakes are normal. Progress doesn't sound perfect. It sounds alive. Part 10. A gentle reminder before we close. You are not behind. You are not bad at English. You are not slow. You are learning a language, something humans were never meant to do perfectly. And every time you speak, even imperfectly, you move forward. So today, remember this. You don't need perfect grammar to speak English. You need courage, repetition, and patience. Speak first. Improve naturally. And if today you said one imperfect sentence, that was not failure. That was progress. Thank you for being here. This is LingoMania, and I'll see you in the next episode.